Welcome to Senior Insights. Come on in, grab a seat, and who knows what we're going to talk about. I think one of the things that I'd like to talk about is, I think my gut up and go just got up and went. I'm having a hard time motivating myself to do anything, even record a video. I went outside. The weather here is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful today after several days of rain, which were miserable. Today is just perfect. It's like, I don't know, I'm just taking a guess. 80 degrees, sun is shining, minimal humidity. Just really nice. It's a day like you'd want to spend outside. Well, I've been complaining all along that I haven't been able to do all the things that I wanted to do in the yard. Do the spring cleanup. I still haven't finished the spring cleanup. Well, so today I get my blower out, which I love my blower. That's the best thing, that everyone should have a leaf blower. And this one happens to be a really nice one because my kids bought it for me. And I love it. It's battery operated, it's lightweight. It's the only thing that I do is blow things around. That just made me think of that song. What is it? Hey, hey, blow the man down. That's what I do. I noise pollute the air. I go outside. I blow off the deck every day when it's not raining because every day there are dead leaves on it. So what I have to do is I have to decide if I want to live here. I have to get myself to be okay with having leaves on the deck and okay with not doing all the spring cleaning like I used to do. Outside, that is. I hardly do any inside. Because I lost interest in that a long time ago. But I went out and I did accomplish a few things. I blew off my entryway, which was full of, it's like a tunnel. And so, I'm sorry, I'm like squirming around like I have ants in my pants. It's like a narrow tunnel, so all the leaves and all the dirt and everything, plus it's on an angle, so all the mud comes down from the driveway. It's a mess most of the time. But it's actually, when it's cleaned up, it's really kind of a pretty little spot. So, I'd like to at least have my entrance decent. So I blew that off. I blew my porch off. I couldn't get all the stuff off the porch because it was still damp from the rain yesterday. So there you go. I was ready to clean off my porch, and I can't do it because the mud is stuck to the porch. The reason that there's mud on the porch is because I took Quinn the other day when I had to go out and buy stamps. I took her in the car and it was raining that day. When we got home, I had to get her into the house first. That's what I usually do. I take her, put her in the house. Well, I had an obstruction on my porch. Now, I knew that that obstruction was there. I knew that it was a safety hazard. I knew that it was right in the pathway for walking. I knew that for several days, and I allowed that package to be there. Now, what was in that package was, it was a delivery from Chewy, and it was Quinn's dog food. It's like a 40-pound bag of dog food. I always leave it out until it rains. I don't know why. Either that or it gets delivered when it rains, or I finally bring it in when it rains, or sometimes my neighbor, my friend Vicky, will come over and she'll bring it in for me. She'll say, I noticed that your dog food was, yeah, well, how come you didn't notice a couple days ago? So anyway, this Gigundo box is right in the walkway on the porch. It's on the porch, goes up to the top step, There's like this much of a way to walk through. And then I had this cute little planting in a basket that I painted this year and everything. It's really was planted very well. It just has impatiens in it. But it was doing great. So I'm saying to Quinn as we're trying to, I guess we were going out, I said, hurry up, go. And she was a little hesitant, so she walked between the dog food box and the plant. And guess what? She knocked the plant over. So then there was all black dirt all over my porch. So it's now not only a safety hazard, it looks disgusting. It ruined the nice planting. Not that it can't be fixed. Mind you, that happened 3 days ago and I haven't fixed it yet. Just saying. So there's mud all over my entranceway. So it's like 5 steps forward and 10 steps back. Does anyone else feel that way? It's like I had this one little thing, this one plant that I painted the planter. I planted the plants, and now the damn thing is knocked over. Pardon my language. And now I have mud that I have to deal with. And now I have to redo the whole planter again. So that was just the other day. Today, I finally brought in the dog food. It's sunny, it's beautiful out. Well, the box that it was in was totally saturated and just fell apart when I tried to bring it in. And it had all pine needles on it from the tree that it was underneath on my porch. And so I brought it in. Now I have pine needles all over my entranceway. That I haven't cleaned up yet. But I did get the dog food in. And it gets wet, but it's in a waterproof bag. So that's why I'm a little, I like to take chances, I've noticed, take risks. Like that thing of dog food is almost 80 years old. $80 worth of dog food that I let sit on the porch while it's raining. Now, it doesn't even make sense. Why do I do things like that? Does anybody do stuff like that? I just don't feel like doing anything. And I don't think it's because I'm depressed. Because you guys make me happy, and I've been happier than I've been in years lately. I just don't feel like doing it. So I go out with my blower, back to the blower. So I go to that little garden that you've seen like a million times in my walks, which I haven't done any walks either. There's something wrong with me. I'm just not normal. Well, I told you I had a lot of quirks. Well, I'm exposing all those quirks to you. So I go out, and in that little garden I'm blowing. And sometimes the leaves are so thick and they get caught up in the vegetation that's underneath, like the plants. I have to go and let Quinny in. She wants to come in. Hold on. So anyway, I just let Quinny in. She's in. She's happy. Now she's going into lay on my bed. Anyway, so I'm out there with my blower. Oh, I was telling you about how if you have dense plants towards the ground, like I have, all mine are like ground creeping. I don't have that many, but the few that I have are kind of ground crawlers, I guess you call them. Like phlox, ground phlox. Well, I just have one little tiny patch of those, but I have 2 other different white flowers that are the same habit. They have the same habit. They lay close to the ground. So all the leaves are underneath them and in them and all that, and the blower doesn't really work. So I really should get my little hand rake, which I have tons of those because I buy those every time I see them, because I want to make sure that whenever I get the urge to use one of these rakes, that it'll be nearby. So I have them planted everywhere. I'm not kidding. This is the way I am. I am very odd. So, but I talked myself into, no, just blow the leaves for now. You can come back. So then there was this fern growing in the middle of this flower bed, this area that I could call a flower bed. There's only like 3 flowers on it. But the fern, which is beautiful, but I have millions and trillions of ferns on this property. I don't need them in the flower bed. It's like a weed, you know. I mean, they're not a weed because they're beautiful, but in the flower bed they're a weed. So usually they come out right away. So I pulled one out and I could feel it slicing my finger. It didn't hurt that much. I was just aware that it was slicing my finger, and it broke off, so I didn't get it at the roots. I should have used some kind of garden tool or something. So anyway, now there's blood everywhere. It's bleeding all over the place. It doesn't even hurt. But I'm telling you, my blood is nice and red. It's almost like cherries in the snow. Oh my goodness. So I said, well, I'm not going in until I get rid of some of these ferns. So I pulled a few more ferns. I didn't kill myself in the process. I disposed of the ferns, and then I did a little more blowing. Very little. Then I came in. And I said, oh shoot, I was going to get some dandelions because I saw some dandelion greens, and I was going to bring those in for Skittles, because he likes dandelion greens. And sometimes you can get them in the grocery store, and sometimes you can't. It depends on what grocery store you are, what time of day it is. You know, it's not everybody loves dandelion greens, but apparently they do sell them. Maybe it's all for tortoises, I don't know. Everybody keeps asking me if they could see Skittles. Maybe I'll show them to you. Should I show them to you? Hold on. I gotta stop the recording for a minute. Here are Skittles. Can you see him? Ooh. There he is. I don't know if he's male or female. You can't tell what sex they are until they're about 5 years old. But he's a good boy. See, he doesn't even like pull his head in or anything. He's not afraid of me. So I'll put him as close as I can. Still can't. He doesn't like being suspended in midair. So maybe he'll feel better if I put him on this cloth. He'll feel safer. See how cute he is? I brought him some dandelion to see if he'll eat the dandelion. I don't think he'll eat it while he's suspended in midair. I better put him back in his... Okay, he's back in his cage, and he said, do not ever do that to me again. I don't like hanging around upside down. So anyway, I didn't get it the first time I was out there. I didn't get the dandelion, so I had to go back out. And then by then I was starting to get hot. Now, it's not that bad, but if you're doing any kind of work, it feels hot, you know, so what can I say? So I came in and I said, I really should do a video. So I sat down. I couldn't think of anything, nothing. And I didn't really even want to do one. So I said, I know what I'll do. I will go out on the deck, sit at the table, and I will film a video outside. Because I bet they would like that, just a different scenery instead of a stainless steel refrigerator that's filthy. So I went out, I set everything up, I set up the little tripod, I set up my phone. Then I started to film, and it was so bright out that I couldn't film out there. So I'm saying, why is this happening to me? No, it's nothing, but it's a pain in the neck. I find sometimes that I think everything is a pain in the neck. And I don't like to feel that way. I'm trying to teach you people not to feel that way. I think you need to teach me how to not feel that way. in my tea bag, I have tea today, no coffee, leeks. So there's all tea leaves in there. And this is Salada. Salada is the one that has the little taglines. It's Salada tea. And it's not strong enough to even make a cup of tea. I'm not happy with Salada. So I hope they don't ask me to promote their product on YouTube, because I'm not going to. I'm going to say no. And by the way, Revlon has not contacted me. So I don't think they're impressed with the fact that we have a whole movement going here of cherries in the snow. Speaking of cherries in the snow, has anyone seen Woody? Woody hasn't been around at all. And I know he was sick. I don't know if he is sick or he's mad at me and unsubscribed or whatever, but I miss him because he always has cute little things that he says. He's the one who said that Hugh Hefner is the one who invented the bra. But I haven't seen him since. That's the last comment he made. So I don't know where he could be. So Debbie from Kentucky Life with Debbie, she's doing fantastic. If you folks have not gone over to her channel, you should. Because, first of all, she had like a semi-viral spurt yesterday. She went from like something like, I don't know exactly how many it was, but she got like 500 subscribers in one day. So if you folks haven't been over there, go over there and see if you like her channel and subscribe. Because she and I both are very similar, although she's very talented. She plays the piano. She played Amazing Grace last night. And it was just, I turned it on just before I went to bed, and it was just the perfect send-off. So, you know, I don't do stuff like that, and I try, and even though I'm not against religion, I am a Christian, and I am a practicing Christian in my own mind, but I like to, you know, I'm not as flagrant about it, which maybe I should be. Anyway, she's great. And the first time I saw her, I wrote a comment and I said, you are going to go places and you're going to leave me in the dust. And I believe that. So let's help her along. And then Nona Grace. Nona Grace is another one. I didn't realize she was a subscriber. And then, I don't know if it was Debbie or some other channel I was watching was talking about Nona Grace. And I said, I know Nona Grace. I didn't realize that she had a channel, so I went over to her channel. Her channel is great. She's just a normal person like the rest of us. And she just normal talks. Well, it's not totally normal because she rides a motorcycle with her husband. So she's a little more with it than the rest of us. And then there's Wild West with Debbie. I'm not sure what it is, but she's a younger woman. She's 50, and she does some crazy things, and her channel is fun to watch too. There's so many. I already told you about Kansas Misfit. We have so many. I'll try and give shout outs to everybody again, and still. So I guess I'm gonna have to leave it for this because they're not all coming to me at once. Plus, I have things I should be saying. I don't know what things I should be saying. But here's a quote for you. Try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. Maya Angelou said that. So try and be a rainbow in someone's cloud. We just talked about finding the wonder and the wow and the spectacular in the simple things. Well, a cloud is pretty simple. You can look up in the sky, you can see a bird, an eagle fly by. We have eagles on this lake, and it's really kind of neat. There's an island here called Teacher's Island, and they have a tree that they nest in every year. And whenever you go out for a boat ride, of course, have I been out for a boat ride? No. Has anyone asked me to go out for a boat ride? No. Anyway, if you're fortunate enough to go out for a boat ride, everybody always goes by the island that the eagles are on, and usually you can see an eaglet chirping away. Their sounds are pretty distinct, you can tell. Oh, here I go again. See the box I showed you the other day when I went to Dollar Tree? That I said, what the heck did I buy this for? I do this stuff all the time. Well, look what I put in it. I put all my pens in there that I bought from Dollar Tree, and I'm keeping it right here on my desk so that if I run out of an ink pen, it's one of 20 places I can find. You know, when my mother was getting on in years, like when she was in her 90s, she was a great problem solver. She adapted to her decrease in ability to do things and her ability to ambulate and walk and drive. She figured out ways to deal with it. I told you she always ate different meals, especially for breakfast. She'd say, all those old ladies in this apartment, she lives in a place over 55, which can be kind of depressing, by the way. You know, it can also be very good, especially when you're closer to 55. As you get older, you see how fast they abandon you, those friends and neighbors. Where was I? Oh, she used to say, oh, these old people, they're so bored, they don't change up what they eat. And she had a different breakfast every single day. And then she set up, she had just a very small kitchen. It was kind of a galley kitchen, but it was pretty limited. But it was good for someone who's elderly because you could reach the refrigerator and the counter and all that stuff. But she set herself up a coffee bar so that it would be easier for herself. She had her coffee pot. She had, it was right near the refrigerator so she could get her creamer and stuff. Every chair that she sat in, she had 3 chairs that she sat in. She had a salt and pepper shaker. She had plastic utensils. She had napkins. Anything that you would need to eat a meal that you might forget to bring with you. So she had all those things. She also had scissors. I do this too. She had tape. She had anything that she might need so that she wouldn't have to get up and get it because it was a hassle for her. It was difficult for her. She walked with a walker. And to me, it made perfect sense for her to do that. Anyway, what am I saying? I told you how she dealt with the car thing and not driving. She never drove the last several years of her life, but she insisted on keeping the car just in case. She would have the guys come from the garage to inspect it. They'd drive it down to the garage. I'm sure they snookered her, and took advantage of her. But she said, oh, those boys are so wonderful. They take such good care of my car. But she got out of driving gracefully. She was amazing, like probably a lot of you people are. What does that have to do with anything that I was talking about? I noticed that I frequently talk about my mother, which is kind of interesting to me. I don't know why it's interesting to me. She was my mother. But she and I always weren't the best of friends. It was when, I don't think I've ever told you the story that I had 3 broken arms once. Yeah, 3. I might have told you because it's a pretty good story. Anyway, I fell down and I broke my shoulder. This one. I had to have surgery to have it fixed. Of course, it was on the 4th of July. that it happened, so there were no orthopedic surgeons around, of course, so they wanted to send me home. But have you ever tried getting into a sitting position with a broken shoulder? Oh, no. It is extremely painful, extremely. So my husband says, if we can't even get her to sit up in the bed, how am I going to get her in the car, out of the car, up the stairs, into the bed? So they conceded that maybe they had to keep me. So then I had the surgery and I came home and it was fine, but I got very depressed because I couldn't work and I couldn't drive, and I was very upset about it. So one day I was giving myself a pep talk, and I said, you got to get your act together. You can't stop this moaning and groaning and carrying on like this. So I went in and I decided I was going to clean my daughter's closet. I know I told you this before. Listen anyway, because I don't have anything else to talk about. Anyway, so I'm cleaning my daughter's closet, and there was a plastic bag in there, or I don't know if it was the trash that I had collected from her closet in her room or whatever, but I tripped over it, and I fell into the closet because I was off balance because I had my arm in a sling. Well, she comes running, Mommy, are you okay? I said, call your daddy. Call him right away. Tell him I fell. So I had broken the other arm in 2 places, and I broke the one that was recently had surgery in it. The surgery didn't held up well with the fall, but just below it broke. So I tell everybody I had 3 broken arms. So the guys came to get me out of the closet. My husband told the kids to give me a pain pill and then call the ambulance and he'd be right home. So the ambulance guys come and they say, weren't we just at this house a few weeks ago? Yeah, and I had the same shorts on, too. And I said, I don't think you should wear those shorts anymore. Anyway, so I was out of work 11 months that time. And in the meantime, I didn't lose my job. They laid everyone off. It wasn't just me. But I felt bad because I was out for so long, and, it wasn't a job that everybody did. I was such an expert in my field. That's a lie, too. That's a joke. Anyway, enough for the broken arms. Have you guys had broken arms? Have any of you had a broken hip? Because I used to feel like a broken hip was the kiss of death when I was a nurse, because we'd see these elderly people come in and they'd have broken their hips. And a lot of us, older folks, when that happens and you have to go into emergency surgery, we get delirious, or we experience delirium because, first of all, we're experiencing pain, we're experiencing the shock to our bodies, we're in a new place, a new environment. If we're at all confused, then they're giving us pain medication, which makes us more confused, and you're in a strange place, and you don't know where you are, what's going on. And so it can bring on, some confusion and some signs of dementia. And it's not good. It's not good. But nowadays, I think they do a fabulous job, and I think it's less and less those things. But you want to avoid falls at all costs because they're not fun. They're not easy to take care of. Why am I talking like this? I was telling you about 3 broken arms, and then I asked you, has anyone had broken bones? A lot of people gave me great ideas. When I was talking about broken bones, I was thinking about, how I told you I was chewing my cheeks. Well, there's a medication when you have osteoporosis that they give you. It's called Prolia. Some of the other ones you can take, they're pills that you take once a week, like Fosamax, and I forget what some of the other ones are called. And then there's another one that you get. It's an IV infusion. Well, anyway, the side effects of those are that they can weaken your jawbone. So when I was taking the Prolia and I had a dental emergency where I had to have a tooth pulled, I couldn't find a dentist that would take the risk of pulling my tooth. So just be aware if you ever go on those bone mending or hardening or whatever they do, growing. They grow, they help your bones to grow, and they do strengthen your bones. I have to question, why would somebody in their 90s even have to go on that? It's just something that I wonder about. I'm no longer on it. I decided, what the heck, I still get broken bones. Did I ever tell you I had 5 broken ribs at the same time? No, I'll tell you that another time. Just think of how amazing I am to be sitting here and still taking risks with falling. Well, I think I'm going to close this video because I'm not feeling too good about it, but I want to leave you with a few words of wisdom. You are incredible. You are unique. You are strong. You have strength. You are not alone. If you come to this channel, you're not alone. We're all in the same boat together. I bet there's even somebody out there that's as crazy as I am. You're loved. You have the right to feel good or bad, happy or sad. And you have the right to live your life to the fullest. So those are my words of wisdom for today. Make sure you come back tomorrow. And hopefully I won't be in such a mood. Talk to you later.